Hey guys, Inder this side from 24/7 Everything. Hope you all are doing great. We are again back with another video, and this time it's on Samsung Galaxy F41. So in this particular video, we'll be going to do the review part of One UI 3.0 update, or I would say Android 11 update, which is available or already seeded to this particular smartphone, that is Samsung Galaxy F41. So on my screen, you are already able to view that this is Android 11 logo. So now we'll discuss from the initial introduction towards this particular ROM, which is One UI Core version 3.0, which is based on Android 11, having Google Play system update of 1 January 2021. Aside to that, SC Linux status is enforcing. You can search about this on Google and can gather more information about this. And the best part is that it is already having an Android security patch level of a current month, which is 1 January 2021, and today it's 31st of January 2021. So after initial introduction towards the ROM, now we'll discuss about the few other things, or few vital part or critical part which are being need to be known by each and every end user before installing this update or after installing this update, whether it is on par or not. So before with that, we'll be firstly moving to the battery part. So in battery, we'll discuss first about the charging time. So it took nearly about 2 hours 26 minutes or sometime 2 hours 28 minutes to fully charge the phone from 0 to 100%. And if I'm not wrong, with respect to One UI Core 2.1 and 2.5, it was taking nearly about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So slightly increase, I would say 1 or 2 minutes of decrease in terms of charging. So which is, I would say, good. Aside to that, now let's discuss about ideal battery drainage. So for this, I have analyzed this on 3 different days. So on a very first day, for 7 to 8 hours, the ideal battery drainage was 1 to 2%. On next day, it was 3 to 4%, and on the third day, it was 2 to 3%. So overall, you will see that on an average, you will have an ideal battery drainage of 2 to 3% for a span of 7 to 8 hours. But again, I don't I haven't installed any battery hungry app or an app which is constantly checking Wi-Fi connection and so on. Sometimes we do install apps from some other Play stores or some APKs provided by our friends, peers, or whatsoever. So those might not be fully optimized as per the requirements and so on. Those are tended to lose your battery capacity, will have higher battery consumption, will be draining your battery and so on. So if you have those types of installed app, then you might be facing more ideal battery drainage whenever you will be updating to One UI 3.0. So after this, now let's discuss about battery consumption with respect to gaming, because gaming is the by using gaming or by analyzing the gaming application, we can see the overall consumption, because these are the battery hungry apps which will be running lots of resources in the back, like GPU, CPU, memory management, and so on. So if you are already familiar with my videos, like what I'm going to discuss in this particular video, so let's begin with that. So basically, like I have already played 3 to 4 times, or I would say 2 to 3 times, 1 hour of gameplay to analyze or to provide my analysis on this particular game. So basically, I was using this graphic quality that is high with high frame rate. So for a 1 hour of gameplay for the Call of Duty on One UI 3.0, it took nearly about 15 to 16% of battery. And aside to that, I have also noted down the temperature reading. So before starting the gameplay, the temperature of battery was 21 degree, and as soon as I completed a 1 hour of gameplay, the temperature of battery was 32 degree. Aside to that, I haven't faced a lag in terms of gameplay or so. And aside to that, gameplay was so butter smooth that you will really like it, that even after updating to One UI 3.0, which is little bit laggy, but you won't be facing any issue in this particular gameplay. So after this, we'll be discussing about Free Fire game. Although Free Fire is really a very lightweighted game, so it will not be hampering any graphic settings and so on. So it will always have a ultra graphic settings. So let's just wait till the time this particular game will be loaded. So now you are able to view the graphic settings or graphic section for the Free Fire. So usually this is a very lightweighted game, so it's always have a ultra graphic settings. Aside to that, I haven't changed a bit in terms of settings. So whatsoever will be shipped whenever you will be installing this particular game. So again, for this game as well, I have played 2 to 3 different times 1 hour of gameplay so that I can provide my analysis on that. So on an average, you will see 7 to 8% of battery will be consumed for a gameplay of 1 hour. And aside to that, I've also noted down the temperature reading. So before starting the gameplay, the temperature of battery was 20 degree, and as soon as I completed a 1 hour of gameplay, the temperature of battery was 25 degree. So you will surely see that the temperature readings are quite good as compared to Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is somewhat, I would say, a little bit heavy game as compared to this one, and even the heat generation is little bit more as compared to Free Fire as well. So that's why the temperature readings will be little bit higher with respect to Free Fire. Aside to that, gameplay was butter smooth. I haven't seen I would say lag, any issue while playing the game, neither from device end or neither from server side. So overall battery consumption with respect to gaming, normal uses and so on is working absolutely fine. There might be some chances that you might, like I've already told you, that you might have installed some bad apps or the apps which are not optimized. In that particular case, you will surely be seeing some different result with respect to battery consumption. So after battery, now let's move to the biometrics and security. So in this, firstly, we'll discuss about PIN, pattern, password, swipe. All are working absolutely fine. These are the same which I have already like configured before installing the update, and these are working even after updating the update. Some users do face, because again this is a technology, or I would say computation, which can fail for certain devices, but again at my side it is working absolutely fine after updating to One UI 3.0. Aside to that, fingerprint scanner and face unlock are also working fine. Let me show the demonstration of fingerprint scanner. Let me do one more time. So it's working absolutely fine. Aside to that, face recognition, let me show you the demonstration. So 9 out of 10 time it always work. It's really strange that during the, okay, now this time it has unlocked. Let me test one more time. So as I've told you earlier, that 9 out of 10 time it will work absolutely fine. So there might be a chance 1 to 10% that it will fail. But again, it is not related to One UI. It is always related to the posture, like with which you are testing your face recognition test, or with respect to camera position and so on, with respect to your face and so on. So after biometrics, now let's move to the display section. So in display section, you will see this particular thing, edge panels. So let me show you the demonstration. Although I've already like applied a screen guard or screen protection, which is already covering, but whenever you will be updating, you will find some I would say overlaid here. If you will tap it here, you will see like this. So by default, I have added few of the cards, which you can term it as card or whatsoever. So let me show you firstly by tapping on like edit. So it will show you lot of options, like you can replace with respect to settings and add some other app which you tends to use it on a daily basis and frequently. Aside to that, you will have some other cards as well, like you can allow this particular setting and it will show you people and so on like this. Aside to that, few other options and so on. Now let me show you. You just have to tap it here and it will show you all the listing. You can remove it, you can add it, like let me add weather and tools as well. And now if I'll be going there and I'll again tap on edge panel, now I'll have more option like net weather condition, compass and so on. So after display section, now let's move to the notification, which I already covered during the installation of this particular One UI 3.0 update as well, but let's discuss again. Once you will be updating to One UI 3.0, you will see that notification pop-out now have two different options. One is brief and another is detail. Frankly, I like brief now, like after using this from since Samsung M31 Prime Edition, and even from last 3 to 4 days for this particular part. But if you are habitual or if you like detailed notification, then you can just toggle it here. But I really like this one, and by default it will be brief. But again, if you want to switch, then you can just tap it here and it will do its magic. Now let's discuss about the connections. So in connection, firstly we'll discuss about Wi-Fi calling. Yes, it's really working absolutely fine both for the Jio and Airtel SIM. So there is no issue with that. Aside to that, native video call, yes, it is also working fine for both Jio and Airtel SIM. Call recorder, yes, it is also working fine. So hardly 1 of the 10 time I would say it will fail, like it will not show you that record call option. So I will really recommend you do not set or I would say do not set up the auto call recording, because in most of the cases whenever you will be whenever you will be tapping on those 3 dialer, it will show you that record call option. So it is working absolutely fine, no issue with that. Afterward, now we'll discuss about status of Wi-Fi connectivity. So it is somewhat slow as compared to One UI Core 2.1 and 2.5, and even I faced the same when I was analyzing Samsung Galaxy M31 Prime Edition. If you are also facing the same issue, then you can also like mention in the comment section below. That will surely be helpful for me as well and for the other viewers as well, that they will be able to know that yes, it is somewhat I would say an underlying issue, but it can be optimized in the next update. Okay, now after this, status of calls, SMS, or I would say mobile internet, they are not having any issue. They are working absolutely fine without any glitch, without any problem. So after this, now let's move to the quick settings section. So if you have haven't installed One UI 3.0 yet, then whenever you will be updating, you will see this as a new notification, or I would say quick setting section, where you will see devices. So if any device has been connected, like I would say if you are seeding or you are transferring audio via Bluetooth device, then you will see that particular device here. And aside to that, if some media is available, then it will be playable here or will be shown here. And aside to that, all the other app settings are available. There is a bummer that still screen recorder is not available, which is now natively available on Android 11 ROM. Not sure why Samsung is not provided to mid-range phone. Maybe they are doing this purposely so that their upper mid-range or flagship phone can be sell more. But they have to think about this, because mid-range phones are the ones which are being purchased by masses rather than the other ones. And aside to that, from the Bluetooth, again, it is a connectivity parameter. So Bluetooth is working absolutely fine, be it for file transfer or I would say audio via Bluetooth device. Aside to that, screencasting, which is Smart View, it is also working fine. I've already tested this on 2 to 3 different laptop, be it Intel based and AMD based laptop. It's working absolutely fine and able to connect on a very first instance. After this, now let's discuss about Play Protection certification. So for that, I just have to move to settings, and afterward I have to scroll back to the very bottom, where you will find this option, Play Protection certification, devices certified. So usually on each and every stock ROM which has been provided by OEM or manufacturer, it is always have devices certified, but I always tend to discuss this part so that by this way, if you will be curious to know that how it works, and so you can search about it on Google, and you can I would say have more knowledge about these things, and you can share with other ones, because sharing is caring. So if you will share some knowledge with someone else, you will also be able to get more insight into that, because sometimes you might have such in a very limited way, the other person can go into beyond and he will share his own experience. After this, let's discuss about FM radio with respect to default apps. So in default apps, I usually tend to test only FM radio, so it is working absolutely fine. This is quite useful for the persons who like to cut down their time or to pass their time by listening it while they are driving, be it their personal, I would say, vehicles, or if they are traveling by public transport, or sometimes just to cut down their time while sitting idle and so on. So there is no issue with that. After this, now let's discuss about the status of camera to API. So it is really disgusting. This phone was whenever I had done the unboxing or purchase for the very first time, it was shipped with One UI Core 2.0. Afterward, I got 2.1, 2.5 update, and now 3.0 update. In each and update, the hardware support level was limited. If we can get full update, if they are not willing to provide level 3, then at least we can try some other modded ROMs which might be compatible with this. Yes, there will be a chance that there will be few modded ROMs which will not have fully functional, but at least we will be able to test few things with respect to Gcam and so on. Afterwards, status of Wideband certification. So it's good that the security level is L1. So by this way, we can stream any HD contents on our I would say compatible apps like OTT platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and whatsoever you are using. Now let's discuss about benchmark scores. So firstly, I am going to open Antutu benchmark scores. So when I'll be discussing the analysis of benchmark scores, you will be able to know the actual performance. So on previous version on 2.1 and 2.5, the Antutu scores were nearly about 1,96,000 something. But on One UI Core 3.0, it's 1,94,199, which is almost a decrease of 17 to 1800 points. And below ones are the consolidated part. Even as per my experience, like with last 3 to 4 days after installing this particular update, it is lagging somewhere. Like One UI 3.0 is somewhat heavier, so not sure it is fully optimized. Maybe they can resolve this in next monthly update or monthly security update, or maybe if they are planning to release One UI 3.1 update for this particular smartphone, so maybe they can. But even whenever you will be installing it, you will surely see that it is somewhat heavier or laggier as compared to 2.1 and 2.5 update. Now let's discuss about the Geekbench 5 scores. So firstly, we'll discuss about from the CPU's perspective. So 6 January scores are from One UI Core 2.5 and 28 January scores are from 3.0 update. So in 2.5 single core scores were 344, whereas in 3.0 single core score are 334, which is already a decrease of 10 point in the latest update. Aside to that, multi-core score in previous version, that is 2.5, was 1294, whereas in 3.0 it is 1244, which is again a decrease of 50 point. So that's why I have mentioned you that you will see some sort of lagging and in performance sometime, not every time, but sometime. And even benchmark scores are also depicting in the same way. Now again, 6 January scores are for 2.5 and 28 for 3.0. So using OpenCL computation engine on 2.5, it was 1595 and now it is 1571, which is almost a decrease of 20 to 25 points. With respect to Vulkan API, earlier scores were 1363, now it is 1634, which is almost increase of 300. So overall, you like Vulkan API is mostly, if I'm not wrong, is related to GPU or graphic related library. That's why there is an increment. Even whenever you will be testing with respect to 2.5 and 3.0 in Antutu, you will see that GPU scores are slightly higher as compared to the 2.5 update, whereas CPU scores have been somewhat decreased. After this, now I'll discuss about the overall RAM management or memory management. So it is really good. So there is no issue that I have faced with any of the app. So if any app is in memory, sometime it can be hold up to 10 to 15 minutes and sometime it can flash after 10 minutes and so. So this usually be handled by OS itself. If it knows that, okay, if that particular app should be I would say flushed out of the main memory and can compensate other 2 or 3 apps, then it will surely do that part. And if it knows that, okay, I can compensate this like app with respect to other new, then it will keep in main memory. So this is basically OS own functionality or internal functionality. Before wrapping up the video, I want to give my overall review score. So from my side, I am providing 90 out of 100, or I am giving 90 out of 100 score. So 10 points have been deducted. One is for little bit lagginess in terms of overall performance issues, or I would say overall experience whatsoever I have done in last 3 to 4 days after installing this particular update. Aside to that, a bummer in terms of screen recorder is not available, and slightly bit for the ideal battery drainage. So it can be optimized because it is hardly 2 or 3 months that this particular phone was launched. So this can be optimized. So this was all from my side related to the review of One UI 3.0 update, or I would say Android 11 update for Samsung Galaxy F41. Hope you like this video. If you really like this video, kindly share this with your friends and family, and apart from this, please subscribe to our channel, because this will surely motivate us and boost us to create more videos like this in the coming future. Finally, it's the time to sign off now. Bye for now. Thanks.